that civilized music, you could hit me in the mouth. Ah!
When you feel grumpy, frumpy, down and dumpy, icky, creepy, crabby, weepy, yucky, mad, or just plain sad, then you need Chuck E. Cheese. Then you feel happy, giggly, glad and wiggly, wacky, bumptious, silly, scrumptious, funny, giddy, zany, witty, sassy, crazy, upsy daisy, all at Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid.
Chuck E. Cheese's, known as the place where a kid can be a kid, has been a part of everyone's childhood, including me. This popular pizza chain with arcades and animatronics has spread all around the globe, from California to Texas to Florida to Illinois. But there's one location that I would like to talk about, and that place is Owensboro, Kentucky. Because throughout my time researching Kentucky Chuck E. Cheese locations, this one has always fascinated me, and there's still a lot I wanted to know about it. In this video, I'm going to go over the entire history of the mostly forgotten Owensboro Chuck E. Cheese's, from a popular competitor to the main mouse himself to its unfortunate closure. This is the history of Chuck E. Cheese's in Owensboro, Kentucky. So before I talk about Chuck E. Cheese's in Owensboro, I want to quickly go over the history of each. Chuck E. Cheese's was founded on May 17, 1977, and opened its first location in San Jose, California. It was created by Nolan Bushnell, who was also the co-founder of the video game company Atari. He wanted to make a place that families could hang out and play the latest arcade games, since before this arcades were seen as dangerous places due to violence. As for Owensboro, Kentucky's history, it's a little complex. Owensboro, Kentucky was founded in 1800 and was named after Colonel Abraham Owen, who was a veteran in early Kentucky wars. It currently has a population of 60,000, making it the fourth largest city in Kentucky. Obviously a great place for that big fat pizza rat to expand to. However, while I've been mentioning Chucky a lot, he wasn't the first one to set up Shack. Instead, it was a certain one-toothed bear in overalls who called the Yellow Banks home.
Some folks think showbiz is strictly
kid stuff.
Oh, yeah! The games at SHOWBIZ now, you'll want to play them all day. The games at SHOWBIZ now are simply far and away the newest, fastest, funnest, bestest games you can play.
So, what do you say to that?
It's kid stuff! At your SHOWBIZ pizza place. Family fun.
In October 1985, the city of Owensboro received a brand new restaurant in their Town Square North Strip Mall. And I bet you're thinking, is it who I think it is? Yes. It's none other than SHOWBIZ Pizza Place, with Billy Bob Broccoli the Bear. Wow, that's a lot of B's. Now if you don't know what SHOWBIZ Pizza Place is, then let me explain. So the history of SHOWBIZ Pizza is a little complicated, but to summarize, SHOWBIZ Pizza was founded on March 3rd, 1980, and opened its first location in Kansas City, Missouri. It was founded by Robert Brock, who was also the founder of the Brock Hotels Corporation. He was originally a franchisee with Pizza Time Theater, but then saw companies making more advanced animatronics, and decided to start his own company, with the help of Aaron Fechter, the founder of Creative Engineering. I'll talk more about their history as the video goes on, But for now, let's get back to Owensboro. So like I said earlier, the SHOWBIZ Pizza of Owensboro, Kentucky opened in October 1985 as a franchise location, owned by a man named Tommy Thompson. Unfortunately, this location has very little documentation about it, so bear with me here as I try my best to explain what I know about this location. The outside of the restaurant was actually pretty generic compared to other SHOWBIZ pizza locations. However, I guess they wanted to blend in with the other storefronts in the strip mall. In terms of what they had to offer, it was pretty much the same as any other SHOWBIZ pizza or Pizza Time theater at the time. They had of course a bunch of kiddie rides and arcade games, such as Skee Ball, a game where you shot at clowns, and a Star Wars TIE Fighter game. And just like other locations, they had a ball pit that many people on Facebook really enjoyed.
Pizza, roast beef sandwich and a pizza, roast beef sandwich and a pizza. All the fellas and the chicks getting calories and kicks.
They also had all-you-can-eat pizza Wednesdays, and the pizza was apparently really good, but often had quote-unquote chunky, not kid-friendly sauce. What does that mean? But of course the real stars of the restaurant were located in the showroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's most advanced entertainment has now joined forces with the world's finest pizza.
Introducing the Rock-afire Explosion, arguably the best animatronic show ever created. They were truly one of a kind and brought so much joy to anyone who watched them, and even the people who were scared of them still look back on them very fondly. They were also behind the iconic 3 stage that Chuck E. Cheese would later use, but more on that later. There were 7 members of the band, including Rolf the Wolf with his puppet Earl, Duke LaRue the drum-playing dog, Fats Geronimo the gorilla on the keyboard, Beach Bear on the guitar, Mitzi Mozzarella the lead female singer who's also a mouse, the previously mentioned Billy Bob the Bear who's playing the guitar, and last but not least, Looney Bird, the drunk bird who drinks gas and lives in a can. There were also a few prop characters that would pop up from time to time, such as the sun, the moon, Choo Choo the bear cub, and that birthday spider whose name I cannot pronounce right, so I'm just not going to mention it. And as much as I love these guys and could stay with them for all day long, I have to move on, but we'll see them later on. Now, when the Rock-afire wasn't performing, Billy Bob would come out from behind the stage and entertain and take pictures with people. It appears that Owensboro only had the Billy Bob costume, but they did have a few different versions, which a lot of them you guys find really creepy. Billy Bob also appeared outside of SHOWBIZ Pizza a few times at many events around Owensboro. Throughout the location's existence, it was generally well received by the public, as it brought tons of joy to the people of Owensboro. However, not everything was good, as several controversies involving this location occurred over the years. Such as in 1989, the owners decided to remodel the location, and along with that, they tried applying for a beer license, which if obtained, they could start selling beer. But when this news reached the public, things got a little out of hand. People were furious that a place designed for children would want to sell alcohol. Most notably, a Baptist church who petitioned and protested SHOWBIZ having alcohol. There was supposedly a public protest at the restaurant, but I couldn't find anything to support this. Owensboro residents even started calling the corporate offices in Irving, Texas, demanding them not to sell beer. Don't worry though, there were no threats. At the end of the day, the restaurant decided not to get a beer license, making it one of the 3 SHOWBIZ Pizza and Pizza Time theaters to not sell beer. Another controversy occurred in 1991 when the company allowed smoking in its restaurants, but there was nothing as big as the beer license incident, and it didn't even last that long, as smoking was banned in 1993. And that's it. There's really not much else to talk about, as again, barely any information is out there. I will say that now we get to the section a lot of people don't like. I'm sorry, but we have to talk about it.
Looking for a little excitement? Let me give you a tip. Chuck E. Cheese's. Here, kid, have a token. Thanks, Mr. Big! The pizza is hot, and so are the games. Win all sorts of crazy prizes. Jackpot! I got my dad a new car. My mom some fancy jewelry. Ooh, lovely! Hey, Chucky baby! I love showbiz. Chuck E. Cheese's, where the action is.
Okay, now we come to everyone's least favorite part. The part where the Rockafire explosion and Billy Bob leave town, and a new bunch of critters take over. I'm talking about concept unification. For those of you who aren't aware of this, concept unification was this thing where SHOWBIZ Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese decided to rebrand their restaurants, meaning the SHOWBIZ Pizza branding was gone, and the Rockafire explosion was no more. You can actually watch the concept unification tapes on YouTube, but I will warn you, it might make you cry. When the news of the rebrand reached the public, many were saddened, even to this day, that these iconic characters just vanished. And in their place were these things that called themselves Munch's Make-Believe Band. Now, I actually do like the Chuck E. Cheese bots, but it's just sad to see the Rockafire characters seemingly erased from history. But ranting aside, let's go over the changes made. Rolf the Wolf became Chuck E. Cheese himself, Mitzi Mozzarella became Helen Henny, Fats Geronimo became Mr. Munch, Beach Bear became Jasper T. Giles, and Duke LaRue became everyone's favorite Pasquale the Chef. The prop characters were also replaced. The sun became the building, Choo Choo became Munch Jr., and the spider was removed completely and replaced with the wink. The moon, however, stayed behind. Okay, so get this. While there's very little information on when Owensboro had SHOWBIZ, there's actually no information on when it became a Chuck E. Cheese. I heard that Owensboro received concept unification sometime around the early 90s. I believe it was 1991. It wasn't until either 1993 or 1994 when they changed the name of the restaurant from SHOWBIZ Pizza Place to Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza. I'm not sure what changes they made to the outside of the restaurant, as there are no pictures of it, but I would guess it would look something like this. I do know that they added a play place, but I'm not sure if it was the Sky Tubes or a different type of playground. But it was most likely the Sky Tubes, as they started adding those in the late 90s. What you are seeing here are the only 2 photos of Owensboro's animatronic 3-stage. Shout out to Chatty Chucky for sending me these. They actually come from a video on a deleted Instagram account, but these 2 screenshots were archived. You may notice that the characters look a little bit different than usual. That's because originally, when the 3-stage was created, they used latex masks on the characters. This stopped after a while due to wear and tear, but now they use plastic masks. They also only had the Chuck E. Cheese mascot suit, though in terms of which design they had is a bit of a mystery. They probably had this one first, and towards the end they probably switched to this one. Now we come to the last part of the video, the part where I have to break some bad news to you in terms of this location. In November of 1995, the unthinkable happened. The Chuck E. Cheese's / SHOWBIZ Pizza of Owensboro, Kentucky, closed for good after 10 years in operation. Now, it's unclear why this location closed, but if I had to guess, then I would say that their lease expired, or there was a lack of interest by the public, and therefore a lack of business. But whatever the reason was, the restaurant was shuttered, and all belongings, including rides, games, and robots, were all auctioned off a few days later. The current whereabouts of the bots is unknown, but it's possible that they could have went to another location, perhaps Paducah or Lexington. After Chucky left, the building sat abandoned for a little bit before being turned into another pizza restaurant, Cece's Pizza, in 1997. But they didn't last long as they were closed after only a few years in operation. But in 1999, a new resident would occupy the space, that being none other than the popular wing eatery, Buffalo Wild Wings. They did have to do a few renovations inside, but they were able to open. Now here's my question. To anybody who worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Owensboro, are there any remnants of Chuck E. Cheese or SHOWBIZ Pizza inside? I really want to know. I do know that those columns that are on the outside of the building are the same ones from when it was SHOWBIZ, so that's cool. And that brings us to today. As of October 2021, the Buffalo Wild Wings of Owensboro is still in operation. If you want to eat there or just want to visit a former Chuck E. Cheese or SHOWBIZ Pizza, then it's located at 4736 Frederica Street, Owensboro, Kentucky, 42301. Not sponsored, by the way. And there you have it, the history of Chuck E. Cheese's and SHOWBIZ Pizza in Owensboro, Kentucky. I know this video was really short, but I just wish there was more information on this location and its history. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the History of series. Bye-bye!
Your mama way. Your mama way.
All the lions. Be quiet. We want to wake them up. Go to sleep, little kitty. Yeah, that lion slept like a baby.
He was so cute.